The proper way to install a roof is to work diagonally across the roof from one point to another. So you can, and people do it a lot, and it's really irritating when you're trying to inspect one that has been installed directly vertically. But, and like I said, I'm just going to staple these on because it's easier to hold it still for now. First course of shingles goes on. How many nails go in each shingle? 4 is the minimum. 4 is the minimum. 6 is what most manufacturers recommend. 6. Yeah, so you'll hear the crew up there. If you listen to the nail guns, you'll hear pop, 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 and then they'll slide another shingle over, bang, and they'll bang the other nail in, and I'll show you how that works. But you install in the 1/3 method, which is you have a full shingle, and then you have 2/3 of a shingle, here like this. So that way, I missed the nail strip. It's just like flooring. Yeah, why are we doing it this way, Rick?
For staggered.
That's right. What are we trying to stagger?
The joints.
Trying to stagger the seams. So this is the 1/3. You go full shingle, 2/3, 1/3. And then as you're nailing your shingles, and you'll hear them up there if you're ever on a build, you'll hear them up there putting the nails in. And they'll start on this shingle here. And as they're nailing this lower shingle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they'll leave this one unnailed. That way, when they slide another shingle over top, bang, they catch this shingle. And the same thing applies with when they're nailing here. Because you know we get 6 nails in the seal strip, and then you also catch 6 nails on the top edge of the shingle because we're overlapped right here. So you've got 6 nails in your seal strip, and then you've got 6 nails in the upper shingle above this shingle. So really each shingle has 12 nails in it. Why would we stagger the seams?
So it looks like a brick lay.
True. Aesthetically, it looks better.
So yeah, if the wind gets a hold of, like if it's one big seam, I imagine if the wind gets a hold of any of them, that whole seam is going to go.
It's true. You've seen, you guys have seen zippering. You see it on roofs all the time. Zippering happens from staggering your seams too tightly. They don't pay for it. So this roof is going to do this throughout the year. It's just, there's nothing we can do about it. Things expand and contract with heat and cold. It's just physics. It is what it is. So you try to limit it as much as possible, but zippering happens when you stagger too tightly and you have a smaller area here for that larger shingle to grip onto. So as the expansion and contraction happens, you're only sealing on 2 or 3 inches of the shingle here, it just breaks. And the next thing you know, that whole seam is in flex like this. When I say staggered too tightly, I don't mean the shingles have been installed too tightly. I mean they didn't stagger it with this much space. Does that make sense? Like if you look here, you have 1/3 of a shingle to grip onto for the next shingle. And here you have 1/3 of the shingle to grip onto for the next shingle. People stagger it and they'll just cut like the end off. Just so they can stagger their seams. But now the shingle that's next to it's only gripping onto this much. And then that seal strip just breaks. I said earlier that we never want to have vertical seams on a roof when we can avoid it. And we have a vertical seam with the starter strip. And now we have a vertical seam in between where the shingles are. We have to stagger them because this vertical seam is 100% going to get water in it. 100% of the time, water is going to get in between the shingles, unless we went through and like hand sealed them every time. But as we stack shingles together, every vertical seam should fall on top of the top part of the shingle. That way, water hits into that seam, hits the top part of this shingle, and runs out onto the water shedding surface. I'm not putting any more shingles on this bitch. It's going to be a pain in the ass.